Here's everything you need to know about the legend changes coming in Season 28. But before we get into it, why don't you hit me with that follow so you can stay up to date on all news Apex Legends. The first legend we'll be covering is Walter Fitzroy Jr. himself, aka Fuse, where is he getting a complete rework in Season 28, where his passive no longer slows when taking explosive damage, faster weapon slow time when switching to the tactical, flatten the trajectory to make tap firing more accurate, reduce delay before explosion startup. It was 1.7 seconds, it is now only 1 second, and it increases the base damage of the knuckle cluster to 15, and it was 10. However, it has reduced the duration by 50%. Now the ultimate has refreshed behavior. It fires a mortar that explodes against the ground, then sprays out smaller bombs around its landing point. When aiming down sights, the mortar can pierce over 13 meters deep and deliver explosives to the other side, aka Gibby Bubbles. He is also receiving some new perks, which are Pyrotechniques, which allows your ultimate to drop behind patches of fire for 8 seconds after the bombs explode. Knuckle Jumper, which is jumping next to the knuckle cluster, will give an explosive boost. And Reignition, which dealing explosive damage to enemies, recharge your ultimate. Catalyst will also be receiving some much needed changes in Season 28. She will now be able to reinforce 4 doors. It was 2, and her tactical is also getting some changes. We have flattened the trajectory, slightly lowered the pitch, and increased the overall range. Increased the size by roughly 50%, and reduced the delay before Spike can deal damage. It was 2 seconds, it's now only a second, and can now have a maximum of 3 traps again, which was only 2, and they've activated the radius reduced by 20%. This is how close you have to be before the spikes stand up and the core is visible. Now the ultimate is also getting some changes. You can now toggle to deploy the ultimate horizontally. The length is increased by 5 meters. The wall can now build up through standard doors, Lifeline's Dock Halo, and Gibraltar's Dome of Protection. It can now be placed on steeper angles. And lastly, we have reduced Dark Veil duration when enemies walk through. It was 7 seconds, it's now only 5 seconds. Catalyst is also receiving 2 new level 2 perks, which are Hidden Spikes, which the spike pool is now hidden to enemies while inactive, and Soul Piercer, which spike traps activate 50% faster and deal 5 more damage per hit. Bloodhound is also receiving some much-needed buffs next season with changes to his passive, tac, and ultimate. His passive is now that enemies outside of a 13-meter range no longer block White Ravens from spawning. Clues more than 13 meters away no longer block White Ravens, was 50. And his tactical, the total scan duration was 3 seconds, it's now 4 seconds, and a full body duration remains half of the scan. It was 1.5 seconds, it's now 2 seconds. Reduced screen coloration during the scan, and fewer clues will pop up on the screen when your tactical scans additional enemies. He is also receiving some much needed changes to his ultimate, being that the cooldown is reduced to 2.5 minutes, which it was 4 minutes. Activation time reduced by 20%. After activation, the wider FOV will gradually shift back to the normal FOV. Knocks while in your ultimate will increase the duration by 5 seconds, will always reset to 10 seconds if below. And your knocks when you're in your ultimate, yeah, that's just going to reset the tactical duration. Lastly, he is also receiving some changes to his upgrades. Level 2 being Taste of Blood, which regens 50 health when you get a knock while in your ultimate. Raven's Flight, which is when activating your White Ravens, they can ping enemies twice as far as normal. And for level 3, we have Hunter's Agility. Your tactical is faster to use and has -5 second cooldown. And Eye of the Allfather has been removed from level 2. Ballistic is receiving a slight change. Sling Weapon no longer interrupts shooting when upgrading/downgrading via Ultimate or Evo armor level. Pathfinder is seeing a slight change to his Feeling Zippy upgrade. Feeling Zippy additionally increases allied movement speed from 1,000 to 1,350 and increases their acceleration from 700 to 800. And last but not least, Crypto is receiving a very slight change with his Prevent Power coupling for 5 seconds after EMP, and reduced charge gained from scanning players from 10 to 5. Now stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be going over all the weapon changes coming in Season 28.